Welcome to Inside the Deal. I'm Trent Ziegler, your host, and this is where we break down how real operators are actually building, scaling, and closing deals in real estate today. Today, I'm joined by Nate Worthen, CCIM and President of Professional Real Estate Services in Utah. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks, Trent.
What is a CCIM?
Yeah, CCIM, if you see those four initials after someone's name, it means they've gone through some pretty rigorous academic work in terms of proving their ability to underwrite commercial real estate deals. That's the gist of it.
Okay, gotcha. So, what is it that a president of a brokerage does?
Yeah, in this case, everything. I clean the toilets, I shop the insurance, I help clients. It's a small shop. We have four people at our firm, and we all work from home. And so it's more about the hustle than anything else. And that's the way I like it. So, yeah, soup to nuts, everything from responding to emails to, making sure that our licenses are in place and current.
Right, does it all. Small shops, staying lean.
That's
So
right.
give me the backstory, Nate. How did you get where you are today?
Sure. I was coaching. My dream was to coach college basketball, and I realized that dream to some degree. I was coaching in South Carolina at a school called Columbia College, and we weren't a very good team. And frankly, I wasn't a very good coach, but I was doing the thing that I thought I wanted to do.
Mhm.
And it wasn't it wasn't lucrative. I wasn't being successful. I was in many ways kind of forcing that. And I looked in the mirror after a season and I was making something like $500 a month for full-time work. So you can barely buy groceries and pay rent and all the things. So it was time for me to figure something else out.
Right.
And I moved back home to Utah, which is where I live now, moved into my parents' basement and just started applying for jobs. And I was fortunate enough to get hired at a commercial real estate firm in Salt Lake. I was hired as a low-level transaction manager and that ended up changing my life. It ended up being something I was very good at. It was as if destiny had called, and I served clients really well, got promoted several times, and ended up starting my own firm, which is what I'm doing now.
Nice. Awesome. So you were in South Carolina, Columbia, I assume Columbia, South Carolina, based on
Right, yeah.
I'm in North Carolina, so that's pretty
Oh,
close.
okay, right on. Yeah, yeah.
Did you grow up in South Carolina or did you always live in Utah, jumped over to do college basketball and
No, I when I graduated with my undergrad, I just picked up they used to publish a book of every Division One, Division Two, Division Three college basketball programs or
Mhm.
every athletic program. So I started at the A's and went to the Z's and called every program asking for a job and got hired at Columbia College. That's how I ended up there.
Nice. Okay. So originally from Utah then.
Yeah, yep.
Gotcha. Nice. How'd you like the East Coast as opposed to Utah?
Yeah,
Different, huh?
it's different. And the East Coast, even as you know, you get above the Mason-Dixon line, it's one way. You
Mhm.
get below where you are, where I was, it's another way of living. So very different to what I grew up with. But I made relationships, have a lot of memories there. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, awesome. But I spent some time out in Arizona, so like landscape, like it's
Totally different.
so beautiful in the
Yeah.
desert Southwest. You get to see it every day. I'm a little bit.
I mean, it's different, man. It's just different. But yeah, I'm glad to be where I am.
Yeah, awesome. Well, this can be in Utah or nationally or locally. What major shifts are you seeing in your industry today?
Yeah, so there's a lot of uncertainty, but it's been that way for kind of an unprecedented amount of time. We're going on close to 2.5 years of not knowing where we are. Are interest rates going up? Are they going down? Where's the economy headed? And so that uncertainty is tough because when you're trying to transact, you're trying to get people to purchase or sell their commercial real estate, they've got to have some commitment. It's unlike residential real estate where you can buy a house today and sell it tomorrow. In commercial real estate, you have prepayment penalties if you're taking debt. And so there's got to be a certain level of confidence that you can make a deal work.
Right.
That's the nature that we're in right now.
Okay. Gotcha. So just shifty markets, uncertainty in the industry. So how has that impacted your business or your growth strategy? How have you adapted to that uncertainty?
Yeah, so we are educating our buyers and sellers, trying to help them understand market fundamentals and trying to help them figure out what's a good buy and what is not a good buy. So there's a lot of education going on.
Mhm.
Even for those seasoned investors, we're trying to help them understand, look, rent growth isn't there right now. And depending on the asset class that you're investing in, there the bottom could be really long. And
Mhm.
so are you willing to sort of endure that pain, or are you better off investing in something else and coming back to commercial real estate? That kind of education, even when it's not in our best interest, we only get paid when we transact on our stuff.
Right.
But sometimes buying what I'm selling is not the best move. And so having the client's best interest at heart as yeah, that's
Yeah.
been the core of it.
Yeah. Integrity over money.
Right.
That. Love it. So how has that impacted, I guess, your marketing strategy? If people are hesitant to buy in this at this time, you're having to educate them more, which, could ultimately result in less business for you. How are you adapting to that?
Yeah. So we're trying to find sellers who have pain points that have to be resolved now. That's really motivated sellers is the path forward in this marketplace because if you have someone who is selling for market and trying to achieve a preferred cap rate or some high price point. This is not the market to pursue that. We've got clients right now who are struggling. They've inherited a self-storage facility. They don't know how to operate it. They need to get out and get into something more passive. That's a great client for us to work with because they can sell at a price that a buyer can do enough value add to make money. So our marketing has to be focused on those sort of problematic or maybe hairy deals.
Okay. Problems are so are you guys, I guess just curiosity, are you guys looking for problems with the property itself, or maybe are you looking for businesses that I don't want to say are going under, but maybe they're underperforming a little bit to where they might have to move out of properties? Are you looking at that as well?
Yeah, if it has operational opportunity, which, poor management or tenants that aren't paying rent or whatever, that would qualify for sure. But then the asset itself could have some other issue, structural issues, or um, they could be functionally obsolete, meaning you don't have enough parking, or the building's not tall enough, or there's not great access. All of those, yeah, great opportunities if the seller is motivated to make something happen.
Right. Seller motivation.
Yep.
So, zooming in a little bit, kind of from the industry to your business specifically, professional real estate services, what's working well for you guys right now? What are you doing well that other people might not be doing?
Yeah, the economy's sort of in the trash at the moment, but we have lots of clients. Over the years, we have operated with enough integrity and loyalty that that's being reciprocated. So we have lots of listings, we've got lots of buyers, we have more deals than we know what to do with, to be honest. So that is huge for us. That's what's going well. I assume your next question is going to be what's not going well.
Right, exactly.
And for us, it's about, at least on the buyer side, it's site selection. It's so nuts. We live in 2026, and you would think there's something like 30 million parcels across the United States. We should be able to query that data should all be housed in one place that we can query and find parcels that meet our needs. For instance, we need 3 to 5 acres within 300 feet of an electricity line that has 2 points of ingress and egress and is within half a mile of an interstate.
Right.
That should be easy. Query it, find all the parcels that meet that criteria, and maybe we, limit it to Utah or Arizona or South Carolina, North Carolina, and we find the parcels and we call them and we figure out if they're a seller. That process should be so simple. And yet, even in 2026, every county, even in a state like yours, has their own database that they run independent of all of the other counties in North Carolina. And so to get all of that data synced up and to have fields that reflect zoning, for instance, every city in North Carolina has a different zoning classifications. How do we unify that in a way that is easy to operate, easy to query? In the age of AI, it feels like someone's got to crack that code, and so far, I haven't seen it.
Right. That's interesting. I didn't know that. More than several databases nationwide. Um, yeah, that's a bottleneck for
Absolutely.
growth
Right.
for certain. Um, what is going back to what's working well? What's the best deal that you've ever done, and what made it a win? Why did it go good?
The best deal I've ever done, best could mean biggest, most lucrative, most challenging. Um, one deal that comes to mind, I helped Brigham Young University, who's known right now for their basketball and football teams. Um, I helped them acquire a 25-acre high school site and getting a public university, well, their private university to acquire a public high school was a feat in and of itself. And then to do that in competition with other developers who also liked the site was a huge feat. And we sold it for 25 million bucks, made a very handsome fee. And so, yeah, that's one point of pride in my career.
What gave you the ability to do that, to combat the other developers and secure that deal?
Relationships, honestly. We had the relationship with the university that was very strong. And then we heard about the potential sale of the high school from someone on the inside. We wouldn't have known about it unless we had a relationship on the inside. And so without those relationships, that deal does not happen. Even though both parties, the university wanted it and the high school wanted to sell it to the university, and yet they were so disconnected they couldn't make that deal happen on their own.
Mhm.
And we only made it happen because we knew people on both sides. So it
Right.
was fortuitous.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome and not awesome because that means
Right.
that deals are, and it's a common theme that I've seen across talking to various different people. Like the better your relationships, the better your business is going to be. Which yes, but also sometimes that stinks a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It cuts both ways. In my case, it's frankly ridiculous that I got paid, however much money I got paid for the deal because I knew two people.
Right.
That that's frankly sad. And then on the other hand, when I feel like I have the superior value proposition to a potential client, but their dad went to school with the other guy's dad. All right, well, I guess you're doing the deal with him, even though,
Yeah,
he's
buddy,
probably
buddy.
not the provider that would give them the most value.
Yeah. I guess the world is what it is.
It is, right, Trent? That's why we're talking, so that you and I can have a
Exactly.
relationship as well.
Exactly. Exactly. The world is won through relationships. Now, on the other side of the leaf, the worst deal that you've ever done. Why was it the worst deal that
Oh man, there are so many of those. Yeah, I remember a deal we were doing. I have one client. He's still a client of mine today, which I don't regret, but he is probably the hardest client I've ever worked with. And he changes his mind frequently. And so he decided to sell some apartments that he owned.
Mhm.
We're rocking and rolling, we're moving forward. And then mid-deal, he said, I really don't want to sell these. Can you figure out how to get us out of the deal? But there was this buyer wanted them, and we weren't going to get out.
Uh-huh.
So the buyer hired an attorney, and we had a conference call on Thanksgiving morning.
Oh man.
Yeah, to talk about, hey, my client doesn't want to sell his units anymore, and he's not being honest about all the issues. He's not keeping to his word. And I look like the fool because, I represent this guy. So, yeah, that was not a favorite memory for sure.
Yeah. No, that Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah, no one wants to be working on Thanksgiving
Yeah,
morning,
that's
right?
that's just in bad taste. Couldn't have been delayed a day. Come
It could have. Both sides were at fault.
on. All right. Well, looking forward to the future a little bit. Where do you want to be 12 to 18 months from now?
I'm going to answer your question a little tongue in cheek. Where I really want to be is at my daughter's second grade science fair. That this whole business is a means to an end for me and for the people who work for us. So that is the end goal, is to go hang out at an elementary school. That being said, I think you're asking a different question, and that is, yeah, what does the business have to look like in order for us to achieve those
Right.
goals?
Right.
And for us, it means continuing to service our clients with integrity and with a high level of sophistication. If we can do those two things, we'll succeed. Problem is, for instance, we have a charter school. They need 10 locations in our state.
Mhm.
We haven't been able to find, we found like half a location that can work.
Right.
You can't tell me there are not locations out there. So how do we bridge that gap? And part of it is hustle, and the other part of it is we got to have a better system for sorting through parcel data and sorting through building data to go find what could work for them.
Right. So what what sort of tools do you guys currently utilize to find these parcels?
Yeah, we're still acting like it's 2003 over here, and we're online, getting onto the assessor's website, and we're digging through parcel data. You've probably heard, or your listeners have heard of places like LoopNet and CoStar and Crexi. These are listing platforms. But in commercial real estate, if it has made it to LoopNet, I can pretty well tell you that it's not a very good deal
Right.
because that means many people have seen it before then, and none of those people wanted to buy it.
Mhm.
So it is sort of it's the dirty laundry out airing in the breeze. And so we've seen all that stuff. What we need to find are off-market opportunities. And we're driving around like yeah, with a window down, look, hey, is that building, how big is it? Or measuring. That's ridiculous. But that is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Walking around the city trying to find places and listening to conversations, trying to hear what may or may not come available. And that, yeah, it's an outdated, archaic
Right.
system.
Yeah. So you said that all of these platforms or systems that house this parcel data, if it makes it there, then people don't want it. So where is the data going first? Obviously, it's not there.
Yeah. So let's say, let's give the ideal scenario. School district has an elementary school and they're going to sell it.
Mhm.
Okay, so where does that happen first? Well, first of all, the principal and the school district's board of directors know about that in a closed session that only high-level school people are involved in, right?
Right.
So that's where it starts. Then what happens next? Well, they might go to an RFP to try to find someone who can help them sell it, or they might go talk to the city or some other user directly. Oh, well, my aunt runs the YMCA and they'd like to buy it. So now there's all these conversations happening behind closed doors that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
So it hasn't hit the internet anywhere until at some point the school board meets and approves either the sale directly to someone else, and at that point we're too late, or they're going to take it to market as a listing.
Right.
And we can get ahead of those deals, but most of it is happening, it's just chatter. No Gemini or ChatGPT or Grok can mine or do any sort of deep research to find that opportunity. You've got to be on the inner circle, or at least
Yeah.
know someone who is.
That stinks because that is a that is
No, yeah,
that's a
yeah,
culture problem is what it is, which
that's
is
right.
taking opportunities away from the small business owners that aren't maybe as well connected as those who have direct plugins.
It's bad for the school district too, because their goal should be to get the most amount of money for their clients, which is their families, the students who consume their education. And
Mhm.
they would be best served by taking something to market, letting the world know what's going on.
Mhm.
And instead, there are political reasons why that doesn't happen.
Yeah. And AI can't change the culture, though it can automate a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, not yet. There are people getting ahead of it. There's a tool called Pargo.ai. They're
Mhm.
close. They're assembling all this data and putting it together in a database. They're attempting to take on this massive feat. So
Yeah.
people are doing it,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, it's a process.
Yeah. Um, so talking about AI a little bit more, What is where are you currently using AI or maybe thinking about using it, or where could it be best implemented in your business today?
I'll
Day to
tell you
day.
what we're doing successfully now. We fully admit I don't know what I don't know. So Trent, that's where you can maybe come in and say, hey, have you tried this? Or what if we could set this or that up? Okay, for your listeners, if they're listening to it in 2026, ChatGPT is a 2025 product. It's not the leader anymore.
Okay.
And so if you're using ChatGPT, you are behind.
Yeah.
So for us, the large language model that we like is Gemini. Other
Okay.
people like Claude. For us, Gemini is it's super slick. And it's slick for many reasons, but it ties into our Google Drive, which is how we house a lot of our data. And so it can go internal to our documents and go find stuff. So that's great. And we're using that for things like analysis, for proposals. If we need some sort of language for an email or, to tighten something up, Gemini is our go-to. When it comes to learning about a market analysis, we like Gemini's deep research functionality. We also like Notebook LM, which is also a Google product.
Right.
So we like that sort of ecosphere. We used to use Lovable for app creation. We
Mhm.
now love Claude. Claude's our go-to when it comes to things like um, we can map a market in terms of its cycle, whether we're in recession or whether we're in hyper supply. We can
Mhm.
map that using an application that we've built through Claude. We can do market report production through Claude, which is great. That's kind of how we're interacting with AI now.
Yeah.
What we want to see from AI is, hey, can you be more than a large language model? Can you actually, if I ask for an output, can you actually do the analysis, go grab the data, analyze it, and give me an output that I want instead of just text?
Right.
And we're getting there, but it's slow.
What's an example of the output that you would want?
Yeah, so I hate to beat this bush, but let's go back to site selection. Hey,
Mhm.
find me every 5 acre site that's not developed that has these criteria, and it comes back with a map that highlights all of those parcels
Okay.
with ownership data, right? That would be killer. We we'd pay great money for that, and so would probably most other commercial firms.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. So not just text as in like, okay, I ran my analysis and maybe even I'm hallucinating a little bit. Here's
Yeah, yeah, there could be hallucination.
the point.
Or if it comes back with an output like what if it comes back in like an Excel format where it's line, here's the parcel number, here's all that. That's okay.
Yeah.
If it can create visual representations of, hey, here's the parcel outlined
Yeah.
and here's how it relates spatially to other components. I mean, that would be fire. That'd be total
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting concept. Do you have like a tech background at all? You're using language or jargon as if, you maybe have a tech background.
No, I don't have a tech background, but in my CCIM education and volunteerism, I'm exposed to some of this stuff all the
Okay.
time and trying to test new technologies. And so I'm just interested in it.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Large language model. A lot of people don't even know what like large language model is.
Man, if you don't have that vocabulary, it's time to go. It's time to get on,
And people just say like AI, oh,
Right.
the AI does this. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, technically you're not wrong.
Right.
Um, well, what's the cost of not adapting AI, not doing what you're doing on your day to day? What's for, the listeners out there, what's the cost of not implementing that in your business?
Yeah, I hear your question two different ways. One way is if you're not doing it our way, then what are you losing? How are we beating you? And
Right?
the truth is we are keeping up with the much larger firms because of our technology adoption.
Right.
So CBRE, if you've heard of Cushman Wakefield, Colliers, those are firms that should destroy us.
Mhm.
But we are adaptable, we're early adopters, and so we're beating them in terms of efficiency, we're beating them in terms of adaptability. So we're winning. And if you're a listener and you're thinking about how do you get a cutting edge, you might think of ways you might call Trent, frankly, and say, "Hey, how do I adopt AI?" Or you might go to Coursera or, whatever else and try to figure out how to incorporate AI into your business. The other way I hear your question is, Nate, where are you not optimizing? What's the cost of you not taking the next step? And the answer to that is I don't know. But I can tell you if let's say we have 70 active clients, but we're only able to transact 12 times a year or 20 times a year, if we could figure out how to sift through that parcel data, the ownership data of assets, and it's more than just how big is the building, where is it, what is it zoned? It's how much of the building is occupied? Is it 50% occupied, 80% occupied? What are those tenants paying in rent? When do those leases expire? If you could have that all housed in one place where you could pull an analysis, we might be able to take over the whole commercial real estate industry. That's how powerful that kind of capability could be. So what's the number? I don't know, but it's really big.
Really big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Um, yeah, great answer. Well, yeah, closing out today, if you had to give some advice for somebody who is getting into real estate, whether it be, I mean, you're in the commercial space, so commercial real estate, let's say, what would it be?
Yeah, if you're thinking about commercial real estate as a profession, I would tell you maybe I'll give you three bullet points. Number one, patience. You gotta have patience. This is like we're at the low point in commercial real estate, which is a great time to get in if you're patient, because everyone else who's going to get in on the upswing will be behind. You can build the relationships now, you can have business, you can develop data, you can win. So number one is patience. Number two is you got to have a mentor. So you can look me up on LinkedIn and you can ask me to mentor you. I can connect you with someone. You can join CCIM. You can do whatever, but you got to have a mentor. If you try to do this business alone, you'll make a lot of mistakes that you just don't need to make. And then the third business is you can succeed. There is room in this business for everybody. It doesn't matter if you live in rural Iowa, there is business for you. If you live in New York or Manhattan, there's business. It takes effort, dedication, and a little bit of creativity, and you can make as much money as you want.
Right. Awesome. That's the second time today that I've heard when asked for advice to go and get yourself a mentor. So for my viewers out there,
Let's
um,
go.
you need to get a mentor.
That's right. That's right.
Um, well, awesome. So Nate, where can people find you at if they want to get in contact with you? I know you said LinkedIn. Anywhere else?
Yeah, you can see my name on the screen. LinkedIn's great. I have a website, but it doesn't have a great contact me feature. Hint, hint, Trent, maybe you can help me with that. But LinkedIn's great. That's probably the best way to go. You can Google me, Nate Worthen, CCIM, and there will be all sorts of articles, including one about me listing a jail in the middle of nowhere. And all of those articles have some way to contact me. So reach out any way you'd like.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Nate. Thanks for coming on today and giving us some insight into your operations and into commercial real estate as a whole. I appreciate it.
All right, man.
Yeah, as I always say, knowledge is wealth. Let's spread the wealth. Thanks for sharing your wealth.
Thanks, Trent.
Yeah, man.